Good morning, everyone. Ron Nicoletti along with Brian Nano. It is a beautiful day once again here in South Florida with a fast main track firm turf course. The all-weather Torpedo will be in play this afternoon. And a pretty nice card, Brian. And a little later on today, 600 large.
Yeah, that rainbow is getting huge, and they put almost 150,000 into it yesterday, and I would expect they will send it in again today, Ron. We always like to play the over, and I would expect it to be comfortably over that $600,000 mark, and we're not far away from being that magic million because it grows quickly around here. Take a shot. Don't get me wrong, but we are approaching that number.
Yeah, next week, of course, we got the Florida Derby. Interesting to see if it holds over all the way till next Saturday. So we'll see how that plays out. We've had some big ones on Florida Derby in the past.
Yep.
I think we had one with $8 million in it. So we'll see how that plays out. So really nice card this afternoon. First race, a mile on the turf. Maiden optional claiming filly 3-year-olds. The optional tag is 50,000. Scratch 12, 13, 14, 15, and number 16. So still a good field of 11 to kick off the afternoon. And Brian put an early pick 5 ticket together.
Yeah, we had a pretty easy morning because I didn't lose anything. I thought you said maybe you lost one pick down below, but it was a very clean day here. $36 sequence for me. In race number 2, we've got the 8 Paradise Drive on top. There's your single. Caramel Chip in race 3. I didn't want to use both Caramel and Concrete Glory. That's not helping anybody. So we singled there. 76 in race 4. And in race number 5, Ron, this is my long shot. And we're going to show you a replay of Blustery. 20-1 on the morning line. Going to be a big number in that spot. If you are rainbowing today, if you are late pick 5ing today, don't sleep on Blustery.
Yeah, Blustery, a lot of trouble in its last race. So getting back to this first race, as I mentioned, a mile on the turf, about 40,000 already in the early pick 5 pool. We both started it off with the number 3, Cumberland Falls, who's dropping to the 50 level today and cutting back to a mile after showing speed and fading late. When Lasix was added for that outing against special weights, going a mile in the 16 for Ken Sweezy.
Yeah, ran very well. Now the big drop. And the horse that she's been in against twice, Mrs. Astor, I feel pretty strongly will win stakes races for Jonathan Thomas and George Strawbridge. So I think she comes out of good races, and this is, as we know, the biggest drop in all of racing.
Yeah, and you know, I had some interest in the number 8, Mi Corazon. I didn't think they would be betting this one, but this is a half-sister to a horse I know well, a 10-time turf winner called My Point Exactly.
Sure.
Debuting for Mark Cassie, Lasix, MSCL, Jaramillo. So I was torn because the stats sort of doesn't jump off the page at you with the Mark Cassie. First-time starters, Roots Turf at Gulfstream. He's only 7 for 70, 10%, 26% in the money, but he's got a positive return of investment, which I find very strange. You got MSCL, Jaramillo in the saddle, and it's just a breeding play for me for underneath.
Who did we see walking over to the set today?
Right.
A MCL just about 6 or 7 minutes ago. So a little karma there, maybe. Let's be honest. We say this a lot in this kind of space, but one of these first-time starters doesn't have to be a freak to play with a group like this. You got plenty of works. You got a good, strong barn and rider. You could do worse. Tab the tote on these firsters, too. You're sitting up there at 20 right now. Very early in the betting, but not a great sign.
Yeah, not a great sign. You know, you went with the 2 that's got some, it's got some recency on the turf, and that's Ralph Nixon. He had a great day yesterday, had a couple of wins.
Brought back Rachel's Rock, who looks like she's a real runner there to win the feature. Kentucky Kiss got to the turf last time. Ralph does not have good stats first turf, but I thought she ran okay. Now we've got that run behind her. She's perfectly drawn. Ralph does such a good job all told with everything. So I would think off that tightener on the turf run in the drop now, look out.
You know, there's the number 6, Starship Roar. Talk about a guy that doesn't have him ready to run first time. He likes to give him a thing. This is a daughter of Kozan and a half-sister to a $300 earner called Lovely Lovely that we know from here. Debuting for Steve Droskin. String of solid workouts showing on both Torpedo and the local main track. He's got Leonel Reyes in his saddle. I mention this all the time. This horse, you know, he doesn't win first out, but his horses run exceptionally well. You're going to get a great price on this horse, 10-1 right now for the underneaths.
You know, Steve's a guy that anytime you see him pop up during the championship meet because, you know, he lays in the weeds a little bit, he picks his spots, I think you should take notice because he's such a sharp trainer.
Let's go to race number 2 this afternoon. A mile and 16th on the Torpedo Maiden, claiming 3-year-olds, 12-5, field of 9. Samantha has an early pick 4 tickets she wants to show you, and she'll be joining us a little later on. $12 ticket.
Yeah, and she's got my 4 deep here, and this is a spread kind of race. She's with me. Caramel Chip, the single in race 3. She's got my 2 in race 4. 2 horses, I should say, the 6 and the 7. And then in race number 5, she's right in a row, 5, 6, and 7. Reconnecting should be a good price for Dave Fox.
Yeah, I got that one of my ticket a little further down there, so we'll see how blustery runs in that race for you. Getting back to the second, Frosted Bird is dropping to the 12.5 level and stretching out around 2 turns today. He shook off a bad start from the rail. He had his head turned in that race. He dueled for the lead. He faded against 16 maidens, going 5.5. It is Mike DiPaolo, Emma Jane Wilson, the top, the son of Frosted. So you would think the distance would be okay.
Yeah, and this horse also got fried dueling inside last time. I don't see anybody running with this horse early on, Ron. I know speed on the Tapeta routing is not necessarily the spot you want to be. You look at this race on paper, you look at the 5.5 sprint he just came out of, he's as loose as they want him to be in here.
The number 8, Paradise Creek, I have a little further down is where you went, dropping to a level after tracking the pace. He faded to finish 4th. Behind a horse we're going to talk about next. That's Networking, last out for Lionel Reyes.
Yeah, I like his form routing, and he comes out of good races. Artico and the race 2 back, and he's chased him twice now. He gets out of his shadow, and he's got the right stalking style. Probably gets first run on Frosted Bird and all the rest, too.
The number 1 network I was alluding to is dropping to this level. He responded to the first race after moving to the Michael Ehrman barn. Closed to be third against 16 maidens, going a mile in the 16th. It's a rad. He's going to oversee the move to the rail. He's just a pace master in this. As simple as that.
You have to use him. You don't have to play him to win. He's 9-5 on the morning line. I don't disagree with that at all. I just don't want him at a short number on top.
Yeah, I went looking somewhere else like you did with Frosted Bird in there. Race number 3 this afternoon is going to be 6 furlong starter, optional claimant for 4-year-olds, started for $8,000 less or an optional tag of $16,000. You mentioned Concrete Glory. You guys, both you and Samantha, went with Caramel Chip. I flip-flopped them. You got a video you want to show?
I do. And so these guys have tangled the last 2 starts. This is last time. Now here's Concrete Glory loose, okay? And here's Caramel Chip down on the inside. And this is tricky. Watch him back out of it, too. Now you think, okay, if he comes through on the inside, he's got a chance. He's got to tip him. He's got to back out and tip. You can see him lose ground here while Concrete Glory's just walking on the lead for a horse like him, okay? Well, now the tide might be turned a little bit today. You got to ask yourself a few different questions. Okay, Concrete Glory's run off 3 times in a row. Does he have more to give? Secondly, and here's Caramel Chip tipping out now, right? Secondly, Caramel Chip, we're going on a trainer change here to Jose D'Angelo, and we know what a wake-up that can be. Irad's going to get aboard as well. I don't think he's going to give anything away to Caramel Chip or Concrete Glory early today. I would expect him to put him right off his flank and say this, you know what, this is kind of a match race here, and I'm going to just take it to you. I think there's a legitimate chance, Ron. The tables are turned today, and he didn't run badly in that spot at all last time.
And don't forget, but the other race back, Concrete Glory beat Caramel Chip again. So you talked about that trainer switch. So let's see how Jose D'Angelo does. First after the trainer switched all level, he's 15 for 85, 18%, 47% in the money. 154 is the return of investment. So solid numbers there, for first after a trainer switch. And you get an IRAD today. And I had Concrete Glory, but I think you got to use both of these when you're putting a ticket together, at least me. Do Up Don is going to go to the Elizabeth Doble's barn after the claim cuts back to 3/4, hoping both those karma changes produce a winning effort. This one I can see underneath, but I just have so much respect for the barn that I got to use it on the ticket somewhere.
I agree with the latter for sure, but the bottom line is the further and further Do Up Don gets away from those sloppy track fast races, the more you think he needs an off track to run his best race.
Well, let's take a short break, and when we come back, we will have my Rainbow Six ticket.
And they're off.
Welcome back to Gulfstream today, Ron and Brian. That's Brian to you're right, you're not me. So 5 furlongs about on the Topeka claiming Phillies and Mares 4 and up, non-winners of 3, or racing September 23rd. We did have a scratch in here, the number 2, Flip My Id, and that was from Kelly Breen. Still looking for that elusive 1,000 career training victory. We'll get it one of these days here. So Rainbow Six is starting here. Let's look at my ticket, 43.20 again. We'll talk about this race in a moment. Got some coverage in race number 5, but I use Snow Loves a Fight. I got to go back and look at Blustery, according to Brian. I might add that one. 2 for me in race 6 with Wheat, Sheaf, and Papa Katz, who's going to take a lot of money in there. I'm singling at the crossroads here for Carlos David. Javier Castellano in the saddle. Got coverage in race number 8. My top pick is San Ura. And in the last race today, my long shot, a little bit of a long shot, Master Uguay, who cuts back to 7.5. Inside speed play for me for Jose Ortiz.
I like it. It's the playbook. You've got some maneuverability in there. You've got a spot where you think you can lean, and at the crossroads, it's certainly going to be tough in there, adding Lasix especially. We're getting to the point now where you've got to lean on races, and you need to spread on races if you're going to try to sweep this thing, and you've got to be creative because with, a pool approaching $750,000, that's a lot of money in there.
Yeah, you got a lot of Sharpies playing it too today. So getting back to this race, Brian, who'd you started with? I went with the 7. Yeah. I think you went with the 7 too. You like Apples, Robert Falcone Jr.
Yeah, the barn is not has been a little slow here this championship meet. Let's just be honest. But boy, we are plummeting today. And you look back, and there's form here that just buries this field. We got to prove it on the Topeka, but she has sprinted well on the turf in the past. It just looks to me, Ron, maybe they're trying to get a win here.
Yeah, they're taking the blinkers off. Irad's going to be in the saddle. He's going to handle the surface switch today. I think it's Opanago who's stepping up the competition, debuting locally. But you pointed this out last time. I think when this horse ran, that Scooter Davis, he's like 36% with all-weather runners. He's like a master at this.
Yeah, he's saddled a limited amount of horses this championship meet, but you can see it there. He's 35% on the synthetics. Owner Kevin Patterson, he had this horse a high percentage connections here, and I like the rise in class from 10 to 20 off a good solid third locally.
Yeah, and I use the number 1, Tempura, who goes to the Kevin Attard barn. After the claim goes to the rail, led every step of the way to defeat those 2 lifetime claimers. Going 5.5 on the Topeka. They're going to go with Sammy Camacho Jr. in the saddle today.
Stepping up, will be in front, but it's going to be a tough group to wire on the rise off the claim.
Let's go to race number 5 this afternoon, and this one is 1 mile and 1/16 on the turf. Fillies and Mares 4 and up, non-winners of 2, 20 down to $16,000. Samantha's got her late pick 5 ticket here, so we'll look at that first, and you'll see she has $18, the old reverse pyramid.
Yeah, the double singles there at the end, and in race 8, that single is the 7. Jazzy T finally she might faint in the starting game when she doesn't see Journey to the Moon next to her, And then the other single in race number 9 is Lost City for George Weaver. My best bet of the day, Red's Revenge in there. That's a good finale, tricky finale, because you could use one or you could use about 8 of them, Ron.
Well, I want to see what you have to show us with the Blustery today. Connections, Matthew Clemai. We've got to check him out. I don't know much about him.
We're going to take a look at the replay here is what we're going to do, and this horse is going to be a price. Here comes Blustery into your screen as the 3 horse. This horse is rolling, Ron, entering the far turn. She's down inside with the pink there. Thank you, Bob. She's got run here, okay? And watch what happens. It's just not going to happen at all for her, really. She gets sawed off there. Game over. You just can't come back from that. But what does she do? She tries to run a little bit on the inside again. She gets shut off there, and we're bobbing and we're weaving. Just not ideal. And it's one of those trips you see a lot on turf. You see people overlook it. She was 31-1 off the claim last time. It was her first turf race. And I think people are just going to dismiss it. I'm not going to tell you she was going to win. she was going to make a dent in there, Ron, and I just want to see her get clear sailing today.
Romero Mirage will be in the saddle this afternoon, so mile in the 16th. Yeah, you got to get every bit of 20-1 on that horse this afternoon. So race number 5, I did go with the 3. Snow Loves a Fight. He's going to face allowance level competition on the turf before going to the sidelines last July. Returns at the 20 level today for Orlando Noda. He's got Irad overseeing the class release, and I think she's a definite tote watcher in here. I think you watch her, see if she takes some money.
Yeah, I mean, if she runs her race, she's 7-5 in here. But boy, she didn't. I get she was 56-1 last time, but this is 2 starts in a row. One of them was in a grade 3. Understandable that she hasn't done any running, and now you can have her for 20 for a barn that hasn't won races here this meet. Just tread a little lightly, that's all.
What did you see with the number 7 horse in here, Tapple Cider Barkley Tag?
Well, you know, she's another dropper, but at least she's shown signs of life in her last 2, whereas Snow Loves a Fight hasn't at all. Both of these horses, by the way, want to come from way out of it. You know, and Blustery probably does too. That's where you get a little tricky in these turf races, Ron, because you got to work out a trip, and that can be problematic.
The number 2 Amunet is dropping to this level and returned to the grass first start since finishing 3rd, beating a length. It was against 35, 2 lifetime claimers going a mile and 16th on the Topita. Michael Matz, Javier Castellano. I think this horse fits somewhere in the mix. At least I think so. And didn't run badly on the all-weather skin stuff last time out.
No, I agree. Another one that you got to put in the mix. Another one without any early speed at all. So this is going to be a trip race. I don't think there's any doubt about it.
I love those selections up there. We're not a little agreement at all. I love
beautiful.
that happen. Yeah, I love that. You know, I mentioned reconnecting is stepping up to face winners. You know, broke from that tough post last time at defeat those 25 maidens for David Forks. He's got a couple of nice winners over the last few days.
Yeah, and Samantha's got this horse in there as well, as do you. And this is a horse with Jose Ortiz aboard. This is a horse with some tactical speed to get first run on all these closers we've just given you.
Let's go to race number 6 today. It's about 5 furlongs on the Topita. Claimers, these are 3 and up, $12,500. Scratch the 10. Blue Lieutenant, you can see there wasn't very many scratches on the card this afternoon at all, besides those also eligibles in the first race there. You got a ticket.
I do have a ticket, $9. Not a lot going on here because, again, my best bet of the day gets out of this sequence in race number 9. 56 is the order here that we'll get to in race number 7. Number 6, Kiki Love on top, but certainly at the crossroads is going to be tough in there. In race number 8, Lucky Parada in there with a trip last time. We got a replay coming up, and I mentioned my best bet of the day, Red's Revenge. Oh, boy, we're going to show you a replay there, too. What a trip.
I'm sorry, Brian. We got singles from you. Your best bet, my long shot, Samantha's single, so we'll see how that race plays out. I got Red's Revenge on my ticket, too, there. So let's go to race number 6, getting back to this one. The number 2, Wheats Sheaf, is turning back to 5 furlongs. Stalked the pace, finished second behind that repeat winner, Frosted Fate, going 5.5 furlongs on the Topita for Joe Orsino. You're getting Paco Lopez at the controls today. I'm going to key off that performance.
Yeah, I've got no knocks on this horse. I just thought that he tripped out really, really nicely off, you know, frying duelers or 2 duelers that finished 1st and 4th. Frosted Faith has been in such good form. I just wonder if he can back that race up.
You went with another bomber on 15-1 on top of your ticket, Blast to Music.
Yeah, this is not, of course, going to be remotely close to 15-1. You draw a line through the route last time. You focus on the Topita Sprint 2 back. I mean, he was, you know, not beaten at all by what's the 2 horse, Wheat Sheaf, say that one quickly. You know, this horse to me looks 5 or 6-1. You can't be 15-1 against a group like this. So just take note of that because, you know, people don't lose sight of the fact that this horse won't be remotely close to that.
Well, the number 6, Papa Cats, has been claimed in 5 consecutive races. Now in the Antonio Sanabon. Cuts back to 5, failed to get on track when finishing 6. That was against this level. That was going a mile and 70 yards. So I found the stat on Antonio Sano. First after the claim, just all levels. He's solid. 11 for 60, 18%, 40% in the money. You wouldn't think that. It came up and I said, well, look at that stat. Now that's all. I think he's like 22% with the Topita runners, but a very limited sampling. So I think Papa Cats with Irad in there, you got to use this one somewhere on your ticket.
You do, but I also think there's a reason we put him underneath.
Oh yeah,
because I'm not so sure he's interested in getting the picture taken out front there because he has burned a lot of money. He's been underneath 5 of the 6 starts. He didn't route last time on Tapeta, so we're going to hope he likes to sprint on it. I agree with my partner. If you're going to play a spread rainbow, you want to use this horse. Ooh, tread lightly with him, though.
Well, the number 3 Can't Be Broken has turned finishing second or third into an on form this one. 28 starts, no wins, 5 seconds, 6 thirds. Should be around to grab a share. You would think he does it every time. He just does not win.
You know, that's hard to do, by the way. And that's another reason why we have him in third. I mean, if you want to get really... You want to be a real stickler in here. And Blast the Music was going to be my long shot, but he's not going to be anywhere close to that. If you want to be a real stickler in here, you could toss Papa Caz. You could toss Can't Be Broken because those are 2 horses that hit hard in here. They don't want to win.
Okay, let's go to race 7 then. 7 furlong starter optional claim. A Phillies 3-year-old start 50 or less at a tag of 50. 8 in the field. You went with the number 6 Kiki Love, who's hoping to make amends today.
So it's twofold. I didn't want to pick at the Crossroads down inside off a real total no-show, and I'm not quite sure why. Kiki Love's outside. Her form's been okay. You know, maybe she regressed a little bit off the big win 2 back. Maybe she gets back on the beam. She'll be a better price than at the Crossroads, too.
Well,
that's all.
I'm sorry, Brendan. At the Crossroads was the talk of the town when she broke her maiden by 17 lengths at the distance in October. Follow that, she comes back. She has a sharp state-bred allowance score. She makes it first start. She stalked the pace. She faded. That was the $100,000 cash run in January. I like the fact she's coming back with Lasix, Javier Castellano. This is a $230,000 a practical joke. It's actually a pretty nice horse.
No, she is a very nice horse, and that's why she was 8-1 in the stakes last time. So could you run a little bit? I mean, that's what left a bad taste in my mouth. Now, she's not in for a tag. She's going to add Lasix, too. So maybe she wakes back up, and we both know if she runs her races 2 and 3 back, she'll loop this field for fun. I just wonder what we're going to get today. That's all.
The number 1, Carlo Tuck, moves to the Kelly Bream run after the claim makes her first start since breaking slowly from the rail. And she fielded in the reel and Kiki Love when they knocked heads back in January. But here's a stat on Kelly Bream. First after the claim, sprints on the dirt. He's 15 for 66, 23%, 52% in the money, and a positive ROI of $1.80. So he does good first off the claim. But, you know, you're coming off the bench.
Old stat boy doing some good work there. That is a good one. But, yeah, I mean, she couldn't get to Kiki Love last time. Kelly does a good job. We're down on the rail, too. This is kind of an underneath horse to me.
Let's go to race number 8 this afternoon, a mile and a 16th on the Tapeta, about distance, allowance optional claimer. Fillies and Mares 4 and up. That tag is $35,000. You have the lucky Paradot on top of your ticket, so let's see that video you got.
We'll take a look at it here on this replay. This is the number 1 horse. Now we're down inside. And the social engagement, Midnight Bella. Of course, Midnight Bella is going to win this race. They're going to run 1-2, so Midnight Bella and social engagement. Watch her just tighten up here and check out of it a little bit when she wanted to come through down on the inside. And right here, she's got run. She can't get through. It's tightened up on her, and she's not even really going to be asked so much when she finally is clear here. And she's just going to kind of lope to the line, showing the crop there a little bit. Basically, she glides to the line. I mean, she is right there with a trip run. The Hall of Famer Javier takes over, and she's also, now that was on the turf. She's 2 for 2 on the Tapeta here.
Yeah, that one, she ran well on the Tapeta 2-start back. Number 3, Sanura is where I went. She's making her first start since she drew clear to break her maiden. Going to mile 70 on the Tapeta back in March, trained at Barclay Tag. Lightly raced Lord of Kitten's Joy, firing bullets on the Palm Meadows turf course. Julian Leperoux goes for 2 in a row. I thought this was a logical contender in there.
Yeah, this is a dangerous comebacker, and Samantha will be in the paddock, and you're going to want to hear what she says because we haven't seen her in over a year. What are you going to get today? Now, her 2 races bury this field on the Tapeta. She is facing winners. It's an extended layoff, but if she comes back running, they're going to have a real problem with her.
The 7 Jazzy T was one of Samantha's singles, and this should be primed and ready to offer more. Return from that 2-month freshening to Duel actually threw out the race and finished second against those starter optional claimers. It is the one and only Bobby DeBone, and he's got his go-to jock, Lionel Reyes, in the saddle
This
today.
horse is so cool, isn't she? And now, I joked about it earlier, but in 3 starts in a row, she's faced Journey to the Moon, who is a running fool on this Tapeta. She loves it out there. Well, Jazzy T does too. 12 for 14 in the exacta on the Tapeta. She's drawn well. She doesn't have to meet her arch rival, who would be a heavy, heavy favorite in here. and the fact that she catches maybe the best horse, Sonora, off the long break, flatters her that much more.
The number 6 laid the groundwork. Want to touch on her. Defeated 50 starter optional claimers on the Tapeta in December. On the all-weather surf. After following that Tapeta score, she runs against the allowance, going a mile on the turf. Comes up empty in her last, but it's Mark Hennig. Claimed it 3 starts back. Puts IRED back on. I think this horse has a chance to run better today.
No, she does. She's 2 for 2 on the Tapeta, and maybe the folks kind of overlook her a little bit off the no-show last time. The 2 Tapeta starts were with Chad Brown.
Great 9th race this afternoon. Everybody has a different opinion in this race of 12. 7.5 maiden claimers 3-year-olds on the turf. And, Brian, you have Red's Revenge right on top of your ticket, and you have a video you want to show.
Yeah, check this out. We've shown some good videos today where it just wasn't happening for a few runners. Well, this one, as Bobby DeBono walks right by us as we speak. Ron, maybe karma again here. Look at this horse down inside. This is number 4 now, Red's Revenge. This horse is going to be beating a neck, by the way. For this horse to be beating a neck with this trip, where down inside, we've seen a lot of these. All 3 of my videos were turf trips like this today. Down inside, trying to come through, maybe a little hesitant to come through too, but you can see just not really allowed to extend herself at any point during the stretch, and he still runs on gamely. I didn't, quite frankly, think he was asked for his best, or maybe he wasn't able to be asked for his best. We can get outside a little bit more today. And, oh, by the way, we're off the claim for Jose D'Angelo with IRAD. This horse is going to be, to me, a really heavy favorite, I think, and you're not going to get value on the tote board. You better maybe get it singling to end this card.
Yeah, if you want to play devil's advocate, Jose doesn't do that well with turf runners, but absolutely. I remember all of us watching this race. We couldn't make a decision if the horse didn't want to go through or whatever it was, but a logical contender there. I got my long shot in here. It's the one Master Uguay, who cuts back to 7.5. Going to take the blinkers off today after setting the pace and retreating against those 35 maidens going a mile into 16. Jane Sibeli, a couple of nice winners over the last couple of weeks. Jose is a tease atop this. Inside speed, I think it's going to prove to be a more manageable distance for this horse.
Wow, the cutback is not going to hurt at all. The post is ideal because you do not want to be outside at this trip. Maybe the blinkers off, settle this one a little bit more. And, there's just something right in the world when your long shot's in the last on turf, right?
Yeah,
I like it.
Yeah, I like to do that. So what did Samantha had? What, Lost City single? Was that?
Yeah, that's right. The 6th for George Weaver, a second-time starter. George is not really a guy who's going to crank him up on debut, and probably that's the best race of anyone in here. Beating the neck at this trip. It's a tough distance to win at on debut. 2 turns, and if he improves any bit at all, he's going to be tough as well.
I love the way the races shape up this afternoon, where everybody's got a different opinion. That's what makes it great. When the smoke clears, one of us are going to be buying the other one lunch or something like that, because the other one's not going to have any money. So I like that. So we'll see how it goes. Well, we got our lightning round before we turn it over to Pete Aiello, and I want to let you know just a note that Santa Anita is not going to be running tomorrow because they're expecting like 3 inches of rain or something like that again.
Yeah, it's a bummer. Our friends and sister track there out in California. Between the rain and the snow, it's been a tough winter out there, so we wish everybody the best, but they are planning to be back on Saturday for a good, strong weekend card out there.
Yeah, they're going to run Saturday, Sunday, and Monday.
Yeah.
So they're going to still have those 3 days of racing. And they do the right thing out there. If they think there's rain and they decide that they're not going to run on it. Your best bet today?
Yeah, best bet today is, where are we? Oh, that's right. We just did it. Red's Revenge in the last race, 4-1.
And mine is the horse that Brian's not that sure is going to run well at the Crossroads after that last time, but we'll see how that plays out. And your long shot, you got a great one today.
I do, and my long shot should be 20-1 because Blustery is that kind of horse, but don't sleep on her if you're rainbowing today.
I got that last race horse trying to just speed pop the field maybe from the inside at 10-1 this afternoon. We mentioned it, and we're going to hear it a lot now because next weekend is our big weekend here, the Florida Derby, and you need to get tickets to come here.
Yeah, we're going to draw this race on Saturday, by the way, the Curlin Florida Derby. 10 stakes on the card. We'll draw it all Saturday, and you got to get those tickets because this place is going to be packed to the rafters on Saturday.
And we got something really big going on here tomorrow. You know, we have the jockey signings tomorrow, jockey poster signing today. So it's a great cause. Yes. So that'll be tomorrow, 11 to 2, next Friday, March 24th,
yep.
11 to 2 p.m. Very, very popular. The jockeys will be out here. And what a $10 donation to the, permanently disabled jockeys fund. It's a great thing. And look at that great poster this year. It's going to be a lot of fun.
It's a great fund, and donate to that. Come out. You can see all our stars here. I got to ask him, is Victor signing that poster too? Victor Sanchez?
Oh, Victor's always out there. Well, Victor's always out there, and you can see Victor right there in there with that hat on. And it'll be next Friday, 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. Of course, that's all part of all the things we'll have going on next week, leading up to the Florida Derby on Saturday.
Yeah, without a doubt. And tomorrow, I think that's tomorrow, Friday the 24th.
The 24th, yeah.
Tomorrow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
24th.
So just come out, support everybody. It's a great cause, as Ron said. These jockeys that ride each and every day, they're so talented.
Well, we're going to turn it over to Pete Aiello. Once again, those jockeys tomorrow, March 24th. We'll be signing it up. And
Beat the Expert.
Beat the Expert. Guess who's – I was trying to forget this, Brian. Beat the Expert. It's me on this Saturday. So, Brian, you had a great week last week on Beat the Expert Day. I got to try and match that this week, so we'll see how it goes. So that is, of course, each and every Saturday you get to play, get a chance to win one of those cool polo shirts. So just so much stuff going on, starting this weekend right into next weekend, and, of course, just great stuff. So good luck with all your selections today. Turn it over to Pete Aiello.
Introducing the first racing tool from Pegasus to Preakness. Iconic venues. World-class racing. Millions at stake. New champions will be crowned. Only at First.